The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Cowboys StoryLine, brought to you by Gillette, the official razor of the Dallas Cowboys. Here's Nick Eatman.
What's up? Welcome to Cowboys StoryLine. I am Nick Eatman. This is the last Cowboys StoryLine here from Oxnard for me. Next week I'll be back in Dallas and I'll be having a couple shows from the studio. The rest of the group, or a lot of the group, will still be out here. Yes, I'm leaving early, bailing out on the team, and I'm sure those guys will be talking much crap when we head out early, but it's okay. Next week is first week of school. We got to get back, things like that. Still, it's been a heck of a camp so far. We're going to end this one the right way. Sure was great to see the group that came out, and I know one of them is already on the line, so I know that they got back safely. But it was a lot of fun and kind of took this thing to the next level. Every year, everything kind of changes. It's like, all right, well, now we're going to do calls. Now we're going to do the storyline. Now we're going to come out to camp. So, and I'm sure next year, I'm already can tell it's going to even be bigger than that. So, a lot of fun. But like always, we're going to talk Cowboys. We're going to talk what's going on with this team. And we got one day before the first preseason game. We're going to get to see a lot of guys on the field for the first time, and get to see Brian Schottenheimer and this coaching staff for the first time, and see what actually happens in a game. So that should be a lot of fun. Excited to see that, and see if they can put maybe a little bit better showing than what we saw in that practice. Won't see a lot of the starters, of course. Maybe none of the starters. But for the most part, though, it'll be a lot of the twos and threes, and still get a chance to see what kind of depth this team has. All right, let's get started to the phone line. Brian in Kansas City, start us off.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Doing all right, man. I was watching some highlights last night, and just interesting how every organization is different, because the highlights I was watching was Burrow throwing to Jamar Chase.
Okay.
And I'm going, wow, but every organization's different. They played their starters. They put he's probably the second highest paid quarterback in the league, right? He's
right.
Probably one of the 55 million guys, and they got him out there,
Yeah.
And every organization's just different. I think we all know the Cowboys as an organization is a little more conservative about that.
Right.
But it's just interesting to see. And not all the team, I think was there only 2 games last night? I think it was 2 games, but whatever it was, not everybody did that. But, just kind of an interesting thing to see. The thing that I was thinking about is if everybody was healthy, I'm just taking the injury bug out of it for just a second.
Yeah.
I think I know who all the starters are, except linebacker and running back. And I've already said that I don't think the starting one tech is even on the team right now. But I think if everybody's healthy, I could go down the line and say this is who I think all the starters are, except those 2 positions. I just wonder what your opinion on those 2 positions are. If you have one, I know we heard Blue has a little bit of an issue, but is not expected to keep him out a long time. It's not the dreaded high ankle sprain. So, but just what you think of those 2 positions, and maybe there are leading candidates in the linebacker room, and I just don't know who they are. That's all I got for you this morning, man. I'll listen to what you have to say off the air.
Okay, appreciate it. If the linebackers are all healthy, like you said, then it's a pretty strong group. I mean, because if everyone's healthy, then I think your linebackers are Overshown and Kenneth Murray. Overshown's not going to be ready, but Sanborn, Maris Leofau, the combination of these guys, and then you throw in Shamar James has done a really good job as a rookie. Damone Clark's had pretty good practices as well. So I think you'll see some of that in the game tomorrow. You'll see some of the depth there at linebacker. I'm not really as worried about that position. And if you think about and go back and look at some of the defenses that Eberflus has had over his time. I mean, he's got some pretty good linebackers on those teams. And I think way back to 2014 when he was the linebackers coach and Anthony Hitchens had 100 tackles as a rookie. But like you said, that defensive tackle spot, if that can get somewhat short up, I think that they'll stop the run pretty well, and I think the linebackers will be fine. As for running back, everyone healthy. I think it's Javonte Williams until someone shows him something different. If Miles Sanders comes in and shows that he is a little bit more of a complete back, then it'll be him. If Jaden Blue does all the positive things that they want him to do, where he shows this kind of speed and quickness, he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a willing blocker. You don't have to put people down. You just have to get in the way and make sure that the blitzers don't hit the quarterback. It's not always fun. Tony Pollard wasn't great at it, but he wasn't terrible. He wasn't Zeke, but he'd get in there and he was not afraid. That's the thing about Tony Pollard, and that's what I think Jaden Blue or any of these young backs are going to have to do. So the running back position, it's just we haven't seen anything yet, so it is what it is. It's kind of more you're going off of the money right now. You're like, all right, the veteran that they paid the most to is Javonte Williams. Then they paid a little bit to Miles Sanders. They're the veterans. They've been here. Then after that, the highest draft pick would be Jaden Blue, and then Phil Maffa and all that. But once we get, and you'll see what happens tomorrow, I think Maffa's going to play well. I really do. They're probably going to have to get another running back in here. So I know there's been a little bit of talk and speculation. I don't know if it's too early to talk about, but it sounds like they are going to sign another running back, and probably a running back that you've seen before. So don't be too surprised, and not Zeke. Okay, I'm not going there. Just pay attention to that. I'm sure that they're going to be bringing in another back just to help them in the depth standpoint. All right, let's go to Davian in Illinois is next. Davian.
What's up, big dog? You hear me?
You made it. You made it back. He was the last one to leave. I actually talked to him yesterday at practice, so he looks like the train and the flight and everything got back safe and sound in Illinois.
Yeah, everything went well, man. The train was fun. I had a guy that just wouldn't leave me alone and let me just flag, but it was fine. I mean, it was fine. I had a good time.
A lot of people mess with you, man. You're a big dude, man. I don't know why people mess with you.
Dude, just without leaving me alone, man. It was wild. But yeah, shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for everything y'all did for us. We really truly appreciate it. I really had a great time. It was pretty much trip was 15 out of 10. It was off the moon, so it was crazy.
Well, I'm so happy that you guys enjoyed it, and it was worth it because it was a lot of fun on our end too.
Yeah. Big shout out to Anthony. I heard what you did for my mom. I really appreciate that. So good looking, my guy. So let's talk about the team. Basically, man, I really tomorrow what I'm looking forward to see is Nate Thomas. I kind of want to see what he's gonna be able to do in live action. I mean, we started the scrimmage. He did pretty okay, but I kind of want to see more of what he's gonna do. I know he probably ain't gonna be out there too long because him and Richards, I think, is the left tackles right now.
You know what? You know what? No, not to cut you off, but he might. He might be out there longer than you think because, he has no reps from last year. He needs to play. He might get banged up a little bit. I'm not talking about hurt, but just banged up and fight through that stuff. It's been a while since he's played football, so if they really want to see what he can do, maybe he does get a little bit more reps than you would think, just what the ones would get or what he would get.
Yeah, you're right. I would be opposed to seeing him out there going because, between him and Richards, somebody got to step up and take that spot, which I think he's going to actually get it. But also, I'm looking forward to seeing, I'm hoping that, like we was talking about when I was out there, I think Dak's probably going to play the second game. I don't think he's going to play this game just because I think he did the scrimmage pretty much the whole time. So I don't think he's going to play that. He ain't going to play it all tomorrow. But I'm looking forward to seeing the play calling because I know he said he's going to keep the 7-iron and just going to basically be vanilla all preseason. So I'm just curious of what they going to vanilla it up tomorrow, how it looking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why you're not going to see a lot of these stuff. Like Turpin, for instance. I'd like to see a little bit more from Turpin, but you ain't going to see Turpin out there because, I mean, why would they throw anything that they might be doing on his, with him? So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's one thing to say, oh, this is what they have done with Dak. This is what the Cowboys do. But we are dealing with a new head coach and a new staff with new ideas and stuff. So maybe Schottenheimer is going to mix it up. I'll believe it when I see it about Dak playing a preseason game. I mean, it hasn't happened since 2019. I'm just not expecting that to happen here.
All right, and my final thing, because I know we got people trying to get on. The wide receivers, how you think they're going to play out? I know GP and CD probably going to chill. As we're going to see Tolbert, Mingo, Trayshawn Holden probably most of the game, you would think?
I would not expect to see Turpin because, like I alluded to just a second ago, I mean, everything that they're doing with him is he's kind of the new wrinkle guy. He's a gadget type player. Why would you throw any of that stuff out there? I just don't see the point in playing him. Not at returner, you don't need that, and a receiver either. So Turpin, I wouldn't imagine him to play, and Tolbert too. I mean, I think you're going to see a lot of Mingo and Flanoy, and then some of these other guys, Holden and Josh Kelly, Cropper, and things like that.
Well, I'm just curious. Man, looking forward to have you back home in Dallas.
All right.
And we're gonna keep it up, and man, let's get this thing rock and roll.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for the call. Thank you for coming out, Davian. All right, let's go. Let's keep it going back to Kansas City, where we got. I don't know why, but it seems like every time Brian in Kansas City calls, KC Joe also calls. So KC Joe, what's up, man?
Hey Nick, how you doing today?
I'm doing good.
I owe you an apology. I called you Chris by accident on the way out because he was saying I had to rush the other day because he had that meeting, and then I was thinking about that. No, you're Nick. I just made a mistake the other day.
No, that wasn't what was funny. What was funny is that 3 people in a row did the exact same thing to the point where I was confused with what my name was, and I was just gonna roll with it. At this point in camp, I don't really care. You know what I mean? As long as you're calling me something that we can put on the air and not have to bleep it out, I'm fine. It doesn't matter.
I hear, brother. I do. Hey, I want to know what kind of special meals your mom's making for Randy, because I mean, she's making us hungry over here. I
know.
It sounds like she's a pretty good cook.
Yeah, she definitely is, and her mom was a really great cook too, and the whole family, and so they got some great recipes, and yeah, I have no idea what it is, but I can promise it's going to be good. It's going to be real good for sure. It makes me miss it too. So
I bet it does. Yeah. I bet it does. What I was thinking about was, do you think that Toya might take Smith's job or make him second string and put Toya out there because he's a little bigger and he's a little more bulkier on the defensive line?
I don't think anything's off the table. I really don't. I mean, there's at this point, it's no more first round pick versus 7th round pick, rookie, 3rd year guys. Nope. It's who can play, who is gonna stop that run and let those linebackers fly to the football. And if it ends up being Toya, then it is. I mean, that's what it was. I mean, Jay Ratliff was a 7th round defensive tackle, and it took a little bit to get in there, but once he did, he was the better option over anyone else, Jason Ferguson or Brooks, or I'm trying to Kenyon Coleman. I'm just going way back, but I'm just thinking, I don't think it matters when you're talking about who can play and who can help me. I'd be a little surprised, always surprised if a 7th round pick is better than your 1st round pick who's in his 3rd year. That's surprising, but it's not unheard of. And if Jay Toya is the best option, then he's the best option.
True. And with the new coaching, they don't have favorites right now. They're just trying to figure out who's the best for them.
They shouldn't. Yeah, they shouldn't. I mean, everybody has pet cats and stuff like that, but I don't think that they're going to have holdover favorites. I mean, like guys that were drafted a couple years ago. This staff is new, but everyone does it. I mean, everyone has their guys, especially the guys that they brought in. In this case, guys that they drafted. I think it's pretty much a clean slate.
That's cool. Well, I don't have much. I know other people's trying to get in, so I thank you for taking my call, and have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks, man. You too.
Yeah. What number do we call on when you're back in Dallas? Do we go back to the other number, not the StoryLine camp number?
I believe so. I'll have that information for you when we come out of the break. Chris is on the phone right now. When we come out of the break, I'll make sure give all the instructions on that. Thanks, man.
That'd be good because I don't want to call the wrong number.
Of course not.
All right, bye.
All right, see you. All right, so thanks for the call, KC Joe. A couple callers over there from Kansas City. Of course, that's where we've seen the most success in the NFL in the last, 8 years, 10 years. I mean, with that combination of quarterback and head coach, that's been the standard. They haven't always won the Super Bowl, but they've been there a lot. They've been in the championship a lot, and that's kind of where you want to be. I'm glad we have some Cowboy fans, though, still right there in Kansas City, because I guarantee those fans are hot and heavy about the Chiefs, and rightfully so. I mean, that's like I said, that's been the standard. All right, we'll switch it up here. We got Chris in Saratoga Springs. Chris is next.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
Not too bad. Just watching the ponies as much as I can here in Saratoga.
How are they running, man? They running good?
Oh, it's outstanding. It's been a great meet so far. That I'm gonna be, I'll be there for the Travers on the 23rd of August, which will be fantastic. Probably be about 40,000 there at the track, so it'll be pretty fun for sure.
That's awesome. Sounds like a superfecta type of day.
That's right. Couple questions. The wide receiver battle for like the 5th and 6th spot.
Heated.
How's Ryan doing? I mean, he's been real quiet. Haven't heard much of him. I mean, I heard more about the unrestricted free agent Holden than Ryan Flonnery.
Flonnery, yeah.
Flonnery, sorry.
No, every time I look up, I feel like he's making a play. 19. Flonnery. I mean, he's pretty good. I mean, I think he's having a pretty good camp. I mean, I think he'll play a lot tomorrow. And that's the one thing about Flonnery. If you remember, last year, training camp, kind of just okay, and in the practices, and looked like a rookie from Southeast Missouri State. Then in the first game, if I remember correctly, I think he dropped a pass against the Rams and was okay. Looks like the moment was a little too big for him. And then the next game was Raiders, maybe, Vegas, and scores a touchdown. Had a couple nice catches. Next game was against the Chargers at home with Trey Lance playing line. I think he had another touchdown. So I think with him, when the lights come on, and I think he's kind of become a little bit of a gamer. So I wouldn't be down on him. I think that's going to be a tough battle between Jalen Brooks and Flonnery, and Cropper's done okay, and and Mingo, and then they're going to have to make decision on what they maybe they do move on from somebody that's a veteran, and maybe they make a trade there if they're trying to add position. It's always scary to me because they're going to want Tolbert, and I don't know if I want to part ways with that. You get an injury at receiver, you certainly wouldn't mind throwing Tolbert in there as your starter or your second guy, or something like that. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a depth I want to mess with.
Right. What about bringing back Malik Davis, running back, for some depth? Is he still out there?
That's interesting. Very interesting dilemma there, Chris. I did say that the Cowboys were probably going to bring a running back and a back that you've heard of. So, not saying anything, but that's not terrible at all. That's not I like what you're thinking there. You know what I mean? You take that, you take that mindset and apply it to the ponies that you're betting on. You know what I mean? And you might have a good showing there. Not to say that you're betting. I don't know. I'm just saying you probably just go out there for the fun entertainment.
Oh no, there's betting involved.
Okay, all right, cool. Well, not bad, not bad at all. I think that definitely could happen. I think that's probably the route that they're going to go as far as the running back position.
Right.
So, all right, thanks, Chris. Appreciate the call.
You're welcome.
And then let's see, we have time for another call. Let's go one more before we go to break. Whoa, man, it's been a while. Been a minute. Travis, San Antonio, what's up, man?
What is going on? How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I just took a little hiatus. I got off the Twitter train, X, whatever you want to call it. I'm probably going to get back on there, but it's literally just going to be to keep in contact with the group.
Okay.
Shout out to all of them. I'm glad to see them make it out there. I was supposed to, but maybe next year will be my thing. It will grow the group a little bit. But I am sitting working in my office in my StoryLine T-shirt, and I have my mug filled with water, so I'm good to go.
Nice. That's good.
But yeah. So I just wanted to call, say the coverage has been great so far for training camp, all the lives and everything. Been watching all those. It's all been awesome. So shout out to everybody and all the shows. I've been keeping tabs on it. I've been removed, but still, keeping tabs. But I wanted to let you know, I think you're talking kind of about like what are we looking for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I'm looking for most is we've got, and I know Solomon Thomas isn't a small dude. He's a yoked up dude, but he's a smaller DT. And we seem to be kind of going smaller with the interior line. And I'll be the first one to tell you, because I'm the Michigan guy, Mozzie has not been great and has definitely not lived up to what I thought he was going to be at this point.
Yeah.
All can change, but it's not looking great there. I know Toyota had a rough, sounds like he had a rough scrimmage. So the thing I want to look at most tomorrow is how Eberflus's scheme, because he's been preaching like it's 11 guys. And I know I just said Mozzie hasn't been great, but we focus so much on the interior. We can't forget about like when corners don't want to tackle. Like you can't have soft edges. Like the run defense, I think his scheme can work, but I want to see 11 guys, filling hole, like run supporting, like making sure that they're defending the run as a unit is what I want to see. So that's my biggest thing, and I'll let you go and say that. But shout out to you and Chris. You guys are doing a great job. Enjoyed talking to you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Travis. That's a two-time All-Storyline team participant there, and hadn't heard from him this offseason. So I'm glad to hear from you. That's what happens a lot too. I mean, you kind of get geared up and you take a little break, especially after the season that the Cowboys had last year. Frustrations, and I don't know all the situation. I'm just saying that people sometimes you take a little break from it, But football season is a vicious cycle. We just keep turning, and get back around again, and here we are. And so kind of sucks us all back in. I'm guilty of it, too. It's awesome, though. Wouldn't want it any other way. You're right about the defensive tackle position, especially with Mozzie. He hasn't taken that step that you want him to. You want the first-round pick to come in and be good right then. Have a little bit of, it's probably going to be a little bit of growing pains, but by the end of the year, you got something. The next year you take off. What you want when you're picking like there in the 20s is look at what the Tyler Smith trajectory was. Pretty good to start. He started at left tackle. There's going to be some growing pains. He had some penalties issues, but he was pretty good for a rookie playing left tackle. The next year they moved him back to guard where, a little bit more of a natural position. Makes an all-pro, and then he does it again. That's the kind of stuff that you're looking for in that kind of pick. And we just haven't even seen anything close to that yet, any kind of consistency out of Mozzie. So it's got to happen for sure. All right, let's take a break real quick here on the Cowboys Storyline. I know we had two callers holding. We'll be right back here on Cowboys Storyline.
We got big personalities. We got big hair, big belt buckles. We got fans all across this big state and enemies in every other one. We even got a big star on the 50-yard line. Smirnoff knows football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks home or away, we rally together. We cry together. And we always rally cry together because, most of all, we got big love for them boys. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Back to Cowboys Storylines.
Yeti, officially licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concession, and on Yeti.com. All right, back here on Cowboys Storyline, our final show from here, from Oxnard, final StoryLine show. Next week, there will be a couple more shows from out here, I believe, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Is that right, Chris? And then Wednesday they pack it up. They'll be leaving on Thursday. We'll have some shows back at the Star as well. We've had some already. Some of the shows from there, Players Lounge, Hanging with the Boys. I think Girls Talk, Boys Talk has been back there, and then Cowboy Storyline will have 2 shows next week as well. I believe we're at Tuesday and Wednesday, if I remember correctly, on the schedule. As for the phone line that I told you I'd get that information on, of course I went through the whole break and forgot to ask Chris. But going back to the new number, going back to what we had before, the old regular number will be the one calling. You'll be able to call from there. So back to normal. Maybe not next week because I need Chris Beam there to be normal. So we'll see what kind of growing pains we have. I think we'll get through it. But once we get a little bit closer, then we'll do. I think it's going to be 3 shows a week, and then before you know it, we'll be at 5 shows a week, which means pretty much like 40 shows for the week for the entire lineup. And so that's when Chris gets really busy. Right now, we're just ramping up, just like the players are, as you can kind of see behind a little walkthrough, getting ready for the game tomorrow against the Rams. All right, let's go to the phone line with Cowboy Nico in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Nico, what's up?
Hey, Nick, how you doing? Long time no chat.
Yeah, man, how are you?
I'm all right. I switched careers, so I'm doing all right. I left law enforcement, and now I'm taking out your guys' trash.
Okay.
Okay. So it's a big change. Anyway,
sounds like it. Yeah.
I was thinking about something, and you've made this comment before, and I totally spaced. I was at that game. You have talked about your favorite kickoff return ever, Mr. Woody Dantzler jumping down the sideline, the hop. You've talked about it, right? We all know it. We also lost that game, which sucks because here's why it sucked. It was my 18th birthday, and all I wanted was the Cowboys to beat the freaking 49ers, which we didn't do, and I wanted to see Emmitt Smith score a touchdown, which he did, happened to be right where I was sitting, which was cool. Unfortunately for the guy in front of me, he had just had rotator cuff surgery, and I jumped and screamed as loud as I could, Emmitt's my guy, and I knocked his arm. So, yeah, there's the story for you. But the reason I talk about this Woody Dantzler thing, and you're right, it was great, but I have a bold prediction.
Okay.
I believe Kevontae Turpin is going to one-up that kickoff return this year. Mark my words. I really believe Turpin's going to take off, not just even in special teams, but as we know, he's doing a lot of stuff out there now. But I really think this year, Turpin ones up Mr. Dantzler's beautiful run. I just think it's kind of cool. What do you think on that?
I think that there's no way that you're far off from this prediction because one could argue he already has. I mean, and Derek and I were there for the Woody Dantzler play, and we've always said that that's one of the greatest individual plays of all time, regardless of what happened in the game and what kind of season it was and all that. Just from play to play, it was outstanding. Well, where does Turpin against Washington stand? I mean, we're talking about a game-winning play. It didn't have all of the elements, but it had the spin move that you haven't seen since like Madden 95 Sega Genesis. I mean, it was unbelievable. And then the speed burst. I mean, he hit the spin and then like the R2 speed burst for the game-winning touchdown. It's hard to beat. I'm telling you. As much as I love the Woody Dantzler play, and I still it's up there, and we're doing a documentary that I'll go into detail here in a little bit that includes that play. But when you're talking about outstanding plays, Turpin, the game winner. I mean that well, sort of. I mean, it was kind of what a weird game. But for him to make that play in that moment, man, it's up there. It's one of the best kick returns by far in Cowboys history, if not the best. So
I agree. I just remember Woody Dantzler brought us back in that game. Like we were getting the crap kicked out of us, and then Dantzler does that, and I thought, oh my God, we're going to actually do this, and we didn't. Last thing before I let you go, first thing to Mr. Beam, congratulations on beating CD, and you do get your name. Beanbag, I'm keeping it. I think it's awesome, and I'm looking forward to seeing Azaraku. I really do. But my question I want you to elaborate on, can you elaborate a little bit more on your feeling with the DBs? I know we've been hearing it's not good. Can you elaborate any more on Diggs? What's going on? Anyways, that's all I got.
All right.
Let's get ready. Let's go Cowboys.
All right, thanks. Man, there's lots to unpack there. I'm assuming the last show talked about Chris Beam with the beanbag in the last show. Okay, yeah, it was pretty awesome. By the way, I mean that was great. I got some cool videos, and I tell you what though, I'll give credit. Now Chris Beam is really good at cornhole. I mean he's about as good. I haven't seen anyone really better. But CD, I'll give him credit, though. I mean, he went in there and did a nice job, and he won one of the games. I couldn't believe he won. So it was like a 5-game series. Chris won 4-1. But I hadn't really seen anyone beat him, and so that was good. And just kind of goes to show what kind of great athletes these guys are. But and you know, he's a good. I think as Chris said, he's a really good basketball player. CD is, and so you know, you're talking about having hand-eye coordination and figuring it out, and he kind of did. But he's competitive too. Like, what's funny is that it doesn't matter what it is. Brian Schottenheimer's mantra, we've seen on a T-shirt, we've seen on posters and stuff, signs, is compete every day, and that's exactly what happened. Well, he's competing every day. It was cool. I was kind of sweating though for Chris a little bit because once people started watching and taking videos, the pressure was mounting and CD was coming back, but he held his own and he was good. That was fun to watch. As for football stuff here, sorry, got off on a tangent. The cornerback position, yeah, that's a problem right now because I did an interview with Stephen Jones. And I asked him, I don't know if you want to get into any kind of problem areas, at this point. And he goes, oh, no, I don't mind doing it. Like, he mentioned corner. Like, there's no doubt that the corner, the depth there is a problem. And how could it not be? I mean, there's just as many cornerbacks sitting over there with Britt Brown rehabbing than there are, that are starting and guys that you expect to play and play well. I mean, I think Elam's done a nice job. That's been a good surprise of camp. But Deron Bland's kind of been, Deron Bland. I mean, hasn't been outstanding with a ton of pick sixes, but he's been solid for sure. After that, there's just, you've got Kalen Carson's kind of been banged up. He was banged up, so he's out right now. Then you're looking at who's in the slot. You've got Keemon Hall and Zion Childress but Savone Revel and Diggs and Josh Butler are all rehabbing. So there's a lot happening there and not enough all at the same time. I think that will be a position that there's no way that the cornerbacks that play against the Eagles, I don't think there's any way that they're all here. I can't see how that's going to be the case. So don't know who. I'm not saying that the market is flooded with great corners, but you got to do something there. All right. I alluded to this about Woody Dantzler play. I know there's been some talk. We did our first Deep Blue yesterday on the Dirty Dozen. I have not gotten a chance to see that yet, so I'm anxious to see that. About the 12 draft picks from 1975. It's been 50 years since they drafted. Of course, the draft was a lot bigger then, but 12 draft picks, they all made the team. The Dirty Dozen, and not only that, and rookies can make the team, but usually that means you're not very good. That team made the Super Bowl. Lost in the Super Bowl to Pittsburgh, but it was a good team. And Randy White was the headliner there, Hollywood Henderson, some other really good players from that team. So I know that they've been working some late hours to get that done. I haven't seen it yet, but I can't wait to watch that. And then the next documentary will be The Wall 2.0. and that'll be on the offensive line with those main three: Zach Martin, Travis Frederick, Tyron Smith. They all sat down and talked, and I'll tell you what, that's going to be phenomenal. And then the one that I'm really working on the most, that I helped write the script for, is called Coach Joe. Simply put, Joe Avezzano, special teams coach, way more than that. And we're really getting into who he was as a person, as a coach, as a dad, as a friend. It's been a lot of fun to do that, and of course some of the highlights you've seen, all these kick returns, and of course that was his last year coaching for the Cowboys, 2002, and of course Woody Dantzler's big play in there. We've seen some Dion runs and run backs, and it's been a lot of fun to do that. All right, sorry, Casey in LA has been holding for a long time. Casey, what's going on, man?
Nick, I've actually been holding since after the draft. Couldn't get in the few weeks afterwards, so I really need you to get back to those 5 shows a week.
Yes.
So we could get in, because I could ramble for about an hour.
I'm sorry.
Congrats to Beam whooping CD and anything. That's classic.
Hey, compete every day. Compete every day, and he certainly did.
I mentioned in Coach Joe, just seeing that wild, crazed look on the sideline. Classic.
Oh, man.
That's going to be awesome. I know it is.
It's been so fun to go down that road, and you know, and a lot of people don't know this, but I went to college with his son, Tony, and so I actually covered him when he played basketball for the team, so I've kind of known him for a long time, and we tell a story about a game where Coach Joe was there and Troy Aikman showed up at the game. And that was pretty wild there. Probably one of the coolest things ever happened to our school there at MSU. But anyways, go ahead, Casey. What do you got?
You know, everybody says it's been 30 years, which it has. But in that time, there's been at least 3 teams in my mind that could have got to the Super Bowl. Obviously, the Creighton drop on 3rd down changed that game against the Giants. In Green Bay 2014, I really felt like it was the DeMarco fumble early, bigger than the Des caught it, even though he did.
Yep.
And then in 16, I think if Romo's starting that game, they win it. But that being said, come back 3rd and 20, give up the huge play. So it's not like this team was in so far from the Super Bowl. But that being said, do you think the lack of fear of job security at the top has become antiquated, or GMs need a little bit of that to make sure they produce, to kind of get their teams over the edge, because there's no better job security than being a Jones? So you being on the inside, I wonder if you think that impacts anything on the way that these guys are running stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that before, and you know, it comes down to pressure. You know, I mean, how do people perform under pressure? Do they perform better when they're in fear? When you know, I'm sure it goes both ways. I'm sure there's times where it's like, hey, relax, you're good, you're not going anywhere, just go out and play. You know, and there's certain players that do respond well to that. Some respond to I had to fight for every single day, every single practice, because I thought I was going to get cut, and that's what drove me. I mean, if you heard that story, you're like, wow, that's awesome. There's other stories, and I can name Leon Lett to be another one, where he thought he was going to get cut after that he slipped and fell against Miami, and you know, had a bonehead play. And Jimmy Johnson said, "You're a great football player. You're not going anywhere. You're not getting cut. Just calm down, relax, and do what you need to do." And he had a great career. So everybody responds differently to that. I can't sit here and say that, wow, you know, the reason why they haven't been to a Super Bowl in 30 years is because of job security. I think they haven't been good enough. And why haven't they been good enough? Or is it because they're not getting the right players in here, the right team, the right structure? You know, there's been a lot of things. There's been a lot of things for that. For not changing the philosophy on draft and free agency, that would be one criticism that I think is warranted. Not really changing. I mean, you stick to the draft. Most people do, but I think there's been times where they could kind of, alter the approach a little bit. And we haven't seen that. I think that would be fair criticism for sure. And you said, yeah, I mean, look how close they've been. They've been good enough to get there. They haven't gotten there. I saw a list the other day on, the last time teams have made it to the Super Bowl, and 32 teams. The Cowboys are sitting at, I believe, 14th. So there's been 13 teams that have made it to the Super Bowl. I think it's won the Super Bowl. Won the Super Bowl. 13 teams have won it before the Cowboys have. That's 18 teams that's been longer than the Cowboys, and some of them never at all. So no one really says that one, that they like the stat of, well, Cowboys are the last team in the NFC to make it to the championship game, and the target's always going to move. Even if you win it, if you go to the Super Bowl, whatever, the target's always gonna move. But I don't think it's job security. I just think they haven't been good enough to get over the hump. They haven't had the quarterback play that gets you there. And I'm talking about to get you over the hump. You've got to be perfect. And I'm watching some of the early episodes of this documentary that's going to come out on Netflix. I'm getting a chance to see that in a preview. It's on the 90s Cowboys. It's the closest thing to The Last Dance that I've seen, and I think fans are going to absolutely love it. I've seen a couple episodes so far, footage that I've never seen. And I thought I've seen it all when it comes to the 92 season, 91, 89, all that. I thought I'd seen it all. And there's a lot of stuff I've never seen. So if you're a diehard Cowboy fan that can't get enough stuff, I think you're going to enjoy going down that road, because there's footage that just hasn't really come out yet. So that's fun to see. But I think really my point of what I'm trying to say is that I just think the team right there, Troy Aikman, just so good and got them over the top, and they haven't had just that kind of perfection at quarterback that you have to have in the playoffs. That's not a knock on Tony or Dak. That's just, they're not Troy Aikman, and especially not Troy in the playoffs. And there's not many players in the NFL that were that good. I mean, he doesn't get considered as a top 5 quarterback, but playoff quarterback, I don't think there's been that many players better than him. All right, Dylan in Northport, Florida's next.
Hey, Nick, how you doing, man?
Good, how are you? Got to be quick. Sorry, bud.
I'm good.
Good to see you, though, man. And happy birthday. Happy birthday, was it 2 days ago? Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. That's how you call out on the show. Appreciate it, dude. No worries.
Okay, I'll just go super quick then.
Do your thing.
These running backs I'm super excited about, not from the standpoint that they're like all-stars, but because it's a super competitive position. There's only a couple of them, I think, on the team that are super competitive positions, and this is one of them. Unfortunately, my guy Davis, I don't think he's long for this team. The injury didn't help him. You got Miles Sanders, who's hurt as well. But really, Maffa has me super excited. He looks like a pretty big bruising back out there. And then, obviously, Blue, whenever he's healthy and ready to go, he's, I think, the most dynamic back. And if he, as a rookie, it's a lot to ask of him, but if he can break out and have a really good rookie season, I think that's the best chance Dallas has at success. If you look at like a conversation on floor and ceiling, he probably has a lower floor than Williams, but I think he has a higher ceiling too. He's got a run of the ball, and we'll see what he can do. But that's what I'll be keeping my eye on this Saturday, as well as the defensive line interior and these cornerbacks.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Running back, D tackle, and cornerback. That's where a lot of question marks are. I think you hit the nail right on the head there. Dylan, it was so much fun to see you guys, and also to the fact that you guys organized this and it started with the spaces there on Twitter, and the fact that it's kind of led to what it is just awesome, and I appreciate you really for doing that. All right, Dylan, thank you for the call. We're going to take a break. One more. We got one more caller, and I think it's one that you guys will enjoy. We'll be right back after this.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Altec Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Altec Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Cowboys Storylines.
All right, welcome back to the final few minutes here of this show. We got to kind of move quickly, which is not easy for this next caller, but we're going to try. Rob in Vegas, what's up, man?
Hey, how's everything?
It's good, man. Good to see you, and I'm glad you guys were able to make it out, and so I'm glad you got it back safely.
It was great, and I think the coolest thing was you made us feel welcomed. It was like we knew each other, like we were friends and we met before.
Yeah.
And you're a man of your word, which was awesome. Some people say, yeah, when you come into town, we'll get together, we'll do this. A lot of times it doesn't happen, but everything you said was going to happen, it did, and it was just a great time just hanging out. It was like I said, like we met.
Yeah.
You talking about the...
Thank you for saying that, by the way. I know you're going to talk football, but thank you for saying that. I think my mom's probably listening. She'll be, and my dad, they'll be proud to hear that you said that, yeah. And my wife as well. So thank you so much for saying that.
Absolutely. Talking about the team, people always say, oh, we were good enough to win. No, we weren't. No.
Yeah.
And you either do it or you don't. I totally agree with the quarterback play. It has to go to another level, because you're probably going to play against top people. It's like baseball. It's all about the pitching in the playoffs. It's not about the home runs. I think Jimmy was such a huge part of that, because Jimmy was great at evaluating talent. And that's, I think, one of the things we're missing. And even in the 90s teams that everybody knows about and how great they were, even Jimmy went to Jerry and said, hey, listen, we need Charles Haley to get us to the next level. And I think that's what we haven't done since then. We have gotten up to the line, but so far Jerry hasn't been willing to go full, all chips in the middle of the table.
Right.
And to me, this team is good enough. They just need some pieces. We'll see what happens in preseason. I watched the Raiders last night. It was just fun watching football.
I know. It's back. All right, Rob. I appreciate it, man. We got to get moving to the Schottenheimer press conference. Thank you so much for coming out. It was a lot of fun, and we'll be talking to you guys next week as well. All right, thanks, Rob. I just want to give a quick shout out real quick, so I know you can see the difference. You haven't seen a lot of red on me, at least not with this team. But I do. Today's a big day for me. I got my daughter Olivia is going to Oklahoma today. This is her first day to go to school, and I've a little bit of guilt not being there, but I'm so proud of her. So I've got this proud dad OU shirt on. Maybe I can get an interview with CD, doubtful, but still a lot of fun. I know she's about to have a lot of fun, a lot of nervous energy going on there, but she's going to do great. She's going to kill it like she always has. I'm so proud of her. Good luck. And then, of course, we got other daughter going to kindergarten and fourth grade and all that kind of stuff, but still big day for me as a proud dad having my daughter go to college. I wish I was there with her, but she knows I'm there in spirit. All right, guys, we got to get going. Thank you so much. It's been fun here in Oxnard. We'll be back next week. We'll be not here. We'll be doing the shows from the Star. So for Chris Beam, I'll see you. I'm Nick Eatman. See you next week on Cowboy Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!